World biggest IPO, Ant Group brainchild of Alibaba. What is the Ant Group and who is the CEO Jack Ma? Today's story is about the Chinese giant Ant Group. If you're not familiar with the name of the company, I will give you some words. Jack Ma, in Chinese Ma Wen, Alibaba, Alipay, Xiaohubao, Xianghubao, MYbank, Zhima Credit, and there are lots of more. Then now, I bet you figure out what is the Ant Group. Recently, the Ant Group was set to start trading on November 5th in Shanghai and Hong Kong. The initial public listing would have raised just under the $34.5 billion, setting a new world record and valued as $313 billion. That's why Ant Group and Jack Ma is so hot in this day's report. But 2 days before the giant listing and historical moment, the Shanghai Stock Exchange said it was suspending the IPO. Ant Group reported significant issues such as the change in financial technology regulatory environment. Yes, the regulation, especially the micro-lending matters. Out of the record, we all know that the regulation was because of the Jack Ma's comment on the Chinese banking system. It's really funny and I will tell you in the middle of the video. Stay tuned! Let's sum up the current situation. Ant Group was gearing up for the world's biggest IPO and it still stays on ice for a while. No one knows where it goes and what happens next since the Ant Group is standing on the fine line between the bank and the fintech industry. But here are the facts that we can sure about. First, China is the world's largest market because of the loss of population. Second, Ant Group is the biggest giant in the fintech industry sector. And next, Jack Ma is the only digital enabler of all financial services such as the large IPO is now about to take place. And lastly, Ant Group tells us how to deal with the fintech and the monetary system. So that's why we should have to know the Jack Ma's Ant Group. Let's get back to the baseline and start with a brilliant question. How could Jack Ma raise the world's biggest financial technology start from the Alipay, which was only the paying service on Alibaba? These days, lots of people subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for your support and thank you again for watching my video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the all for the great and awesome stories around the world. Then let's get started. The Chinese fintech firm Ant Group has gone from flying under the radar to dominating the headlines in the recent months, and it was all thanks to its highly anticipated IPO that was ready to go on November 5th. But Ant Group set its record-setting dreams dashed just as before it was set to begin trading when China introduced new lending rules that threw a wrench in company's listing. And financial authorities suspended the offering. Regulation that really matters this race, right? The firm was expected to raise $37 billion, and its valuation was reported nearly more than $300 billion. A figure much greater than that of the world's most established bank like Goldman Sachs. The Ant Group's IPO attracted $3 trillion from retail investors and would have taken the title of Most Valuable IPO from Saudi's Aramco. The Economist notes that this is reflecting the ongoing shift from oil to data as the world's most valuable resources. It means we are living in an era that data has the power in it. Like we talked a lot of the current videos, I will put the link in the right top corner. Click it and let's talk about it together. And the Ant Group and its IPO were poised to serve as a stamp of approval for the fintech market as a vessel for fast-moving disruptor in the traditional banking sector, such as JP Morgan, Chase, Goldman Sachs, and Wells Fargo. Ant Group was about to go beyond them. Right, Ant Group went from gearing up for the world's largest IPO to bending to the will of the Chinese government in a matter of days. Ant Group's IPO was scheduled for November 5th, and its interruption came about a week after founder Jack Ma made a series of brash comments on condemning current banking regulations. We all know that this is the actual real reason for the sudden regulation. It's really funny though. Jack Ma publicly snubbed China's financial regulatory system at the Shanghai conference on October 24, declaring the rules to be ill-suited for the fostering healthy innovation. He also slammed the regulators that enforce a set of international banking rules as an old man's club. In other words, Jack points out that the Chinese banking system is run like what the mafias do. Suddenly, a week later, regulators introduced new regulations on online lending, which directly impact Ant Group's lucrative lending and credit business. That online aspect of firm's business accounts for nearly 40% of its revenue. This situation seems like China's government pitched the Ant Group and grant, let's use the word grant, the regulations for them. That's hilarious. Ant Group may be forced to spin in and out due to the regulations, but as we spoke already, there are tons of thousands of reasons why we should have to look through the Ant Group. Many are asking what Ant Group is, how it has become so successful, and why it is worth so much. There are also the questions about how it relates to the rest of the empire of Alibaba's founder, Jack Ma. Then let's start from the beginning. For the basic information, Ant Group started from the Alipay, which was originally from the paying system for Alibaba. They divided the Alipay from the Alibaba in 2011 and rebranded the company into the Ant Group in 2014. And from that moment, they reached for the Financial Technology Corporation. Here is the Ant Group's major timeline. In 2004, they started to operate the Alipay. In 2011, Alipay divided from one sector of Alibaba and became an independent company. In 2013, they launched money market fund MMF Xianghubao, which was formerly the world's largest money market fund. And 2014, they unveiled the facial recognition payment system and rebranded into Ant Group. 2015 is a big year for the Ant Group. They launched the Ant Fortune, which is a wealth management platform, and unveiled the online bank called MYbank, and Zhima Credit, which is the third-party credit rating system. This is the summary of the Ant Group's history. Then let's dig into the deeper stories. The rise of Alipay. Ant Group started life as Alipay, which is Jack Ma's early brainchild. Alipay is a third-party online payment tool created by the Alibaba in 2004. The catalyst for this move was eBay announcing plans to enter the Chinese market in 2003. Alibaba was China's star in online retail but was focused on selling goods for businesses. It means Alibaba is originally a B2B platform. It now launched Taobao, a cross between eBay and Amazon to serve customers. Yes, the Taobao is for the B2C. Taobao conjured millions of users, but they did not initially make much revenue since listing was free and there were no commissions. There was also the issue of trust between vendors and buyers. Imagine a rudimentary eBay without a PayPal. That was exactly the same for the Taobao. To address this, Alipay began as a simple escrow service to secure transactions between independent buyers and sellers on Taobao. Alipay did not have appropriate licenses, but Jack Ma insists they push forward within the gray zones of legality, believing that e-commerce in China depends on it. Jack Ma said that, if the banks do not change, we will make them change. How impressive it is! That's why I believe Jack do it again with now situation, the sudden regulations. Then let's get back to the point. Collaboration with Chinese banks was the next step, but there were archaic and bureaucratic obstacles, and online banking was still very basic, and frankly speaking, it was almost primitive at then. Building a new infrastructure from scratch was the only way to scale, in collaboration with the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China and Sun Microsystems. Back then, as I used the word primitive, the payment flow was almost at the Stone Age. If you want to order an online payment, you should open the bank account and make a one-time password called OTP at every transaction. How inefficient and burdensome it is. That was a huge hurdle for the e-commerce system. However, Jack Ma devised a great solution named Alipay. If we connect a bank account to the Alipay application, the only thing we should have to do for payment is just make up the preset password. It's really simple. Thanks to the Alipay, Alibaba went over and rolled out the eBay. By 2006, over 300,000 merchants in everything from travel to gaming has adopted the Alipay. By 2010, it has connected with over 200 banks in China and started providing payment service for online retails outside Alibaba. Armed with far more simplified payment methods like QR code, fingerprint, or facial recognition, Ant Group has gathered more and more users into their ecosystem. The numbers clearly show this trend, and now at this point, Alipay has 10 billion yearly users and the number of transactions is around $16 trillion. This is 25 times of the PayPal. Of course, we all know that demographically, most of the users of Alipay are made up of Chinese, and Alipay almost played monopoly in China. These numbers are not the globally, but let's focus on the pure numbers itself. And now, Alipay allows the users to pay people, store money in checking account, making investments, buy insurance, receiving financing, get a credit card and make payment on it, and even hail a taxi. You can also use the app to make a payment at restaurants and other businesses via QR code, which has aided its widespread adoption in China. Be ambitious and today, Alipay has 1.3 billion active users. Alipay has captured a huge amount of value for Alibaba by enhancing its sales proposition. This was the original formula of the Alipay's profit stream. But following the Alipay success, a series of competitors came out on this market. Alipay faces fierce competition to maintain its 55% share of China's mobile payment, with rival Tencent's WeChat Pay and QQ Wallet closing in 40% combined. And once the digital yuan being developed by the People's Bank of China is released, new payment channels could reduce all the incumbents' market share. But if the growth in user numbers is beginning to plateau, the revenue stream per user promises to continue rising. Alipay has long understood that capturing value depends on how long it retains customers' loyalty. Payment alone were never going to be enough. Alipay has built on its two main resources, access to fund and customer data, to branch into other financial services. That's why Alipay branched out from Alibaba and became independent. Ant Financial was established in 2014 as a vehicle for the entire operation amid private fundraising. And the last one, the name of the group Ant is a metaphor for no transaction or investment being too small. When added up, they become significant. In Asia, they use the name of the insect ant in the same context that we call the Robin Hood in the stock market, small investors. Ant Group now offers a service across 5 domains: payment, wealth management, lending, credit scoring, and insurance. At first, Xianghubao. Wealth management relates to Xianghubao. In English, it means leftover or hidden treasures. Xianghubao launched in 2013 to allow even the smallest customers to invest leftover funds. And now it became the world's largest money market fund in 2017 over JP Morgan. It allows the users in China to conveniently transfer their unused cash into MMF at as little as 1 yuan at a time. It's about 15 cents in US dollar. It offers an average of 2% greater return than a traditional bank deposit interest, plus lower fees to its asset management partners. Xianghubao has 700 million customers and now runs the world's largest money market fund. and has $610 billion in assets under management. The second, Ant Fortune. Ant Financial has also created a wealth management platform, Ant Fortune. Easily speaking, Ant Fortune offers a tailor-made wealth management service. After the debut of Xianghubao, Ant Group started to sell financial products like stocks, funds, and bonds. The Ant Group's algorithm analyzes the customers and recommends the suitable products. This platform enables the users to choose between Xianghubao and other funds offered by rivals. It now boasts over 6,000 wealth management products over 170 asset management companies. Since the platform is backed by the Alipay, which is one of the fast payment services, Ant Fortune is the most efficient selling channel. And third, MYbank. MYbank was launched to use big data and AI to lend to small and medium-sized firms that were underserved by larger banks. The point here is that the size of the firms, small and medium-sized. Jack Ma's online bank is leading a quiet revolution in a way China lent to small businesses, taking aim at a credit bottleneck that has held back Asia's largest economy for decades. Using real-time payment data and risk management system that analyzes more than 3,000 variables, Jack Ma's 5-year-old MYbank has lent 2 trillion yuan, which is $290 billion, to nearly 60 million small companies. Borrowers apply with a few taps of smartphones and receive cash almost instantly when they got approved. The whole process takes only 3 minutes and involves 0 human bankers. The default rate so far is about 1%. This is the world we are living. The fourth, Zhima Credit. MYbank's amazingly fast lending service is possible thanks to the Zhima Credit, which is the personal credit rating system. Zhima Credit was created to leverage Ant Group's access to personal data to create credit score profiles for the borrowers, as well as offering them financial advices. So the Fortune titled this way, Jack Ma's online banking is leading a quiet revolution in China's lending. The fifth, Xianghubao. In 2018, Ant Group launched the Xianghubao, a mutual insurance platform designed to address the lack of affordable healthcare for the lower-wage workers. Free to join and only charging premium upon of treatment, 100 million users joined in the first year alone. This ecosystem of service offering is why Ant Group is worth so much today. The company cross-sells them extremely well. As many as 80% of customers use 3 or more services, and 40% use all 5. By taking a platform approach, direct competitors with traditional financial institutions have been reduced. The ambition does not end at the financial services, as evidenced by the Ant and Alibaba acquisition of online food delivery group Alibaba in 2018. As the company's spokesperson put it, the idea is that people are living their lives through this platform. That's why Ant Group is that valuable and priceless. The big picture. In 2019, Ant Group made a profit of more than $206 billion from $17.5 billion in revenues. Profits in just the first half of 2020 superseded 2019 at $3.2 billion. PayPal's net income over the same period was $1.6 billion. Now we can feel the growth of Ant Group, right? There appears a strong potential for the Ant Group to grow outside of China, having formed a strategic partnership with mobile payment providers in India, Thailand, and Mexico. This added another $90 billion to $17 trillion in processed transactions in China in 2019. Besides new revenues, they have also proven to be a successful conduit for drawing new users into the service ecosystem. Recently, however, Ant Group has dialed back some of its global expansion ambitions to focus on consolidating its gains in the Chinese market ahead of the IPO. To offer expanded financial services, Ant Group has also developed a portfolio of technology capabilities including cloud and blockchain platforms called Ant Chain. It has been selling these tech services to financial companies, emphasizing that the group is primarily about the tech, not the finance, coining itself TechFin, not the Fintech. Indeed, these tech services produced 50% of 2019 revenues, compared to the payment bringing in 36%, and this switch has further excited investors. And now, China's financial technology juggernaut, known for its Alipay Ubiquitous super application, handles payment, insurance, investments, and more. Ant Group is a class by itself since their data analysis is extremely outstanding both in the quantities and efficiency. They can track the user's financial flow in real time, and they know what kind of transactions are happening right now. Ant Group can leverage Alibaba's gigantic amount of data and use it to expand their domain into financial services. Furthermore, the entire group system is highly interconnected, so one person's development can make the synergy with the other sectors. Like Alipay's growth can augment Xianghubao, and they can also scale up the Ant fortune. I believe Jack Ma will figure out this sudden situation and do what he was trying to do and planning for. Let's looking forward to what is happening from now on to the Ant Group. Thank you so much for watching my video, and please subscribe to my channel and show your thumbs up. I will hop around this world and bring lots of thousands of funny stories to you guys. Thank you again, and I see you at the other videos. See you!